Welcome everyone to the Coaster Spot. This is Alex, and today we have the announcement that I think has won 2025 at Canada's Wonderland. It is going to be AlpenFury, Canada's longest, tallest, fastest, most inversions launch coaster. We already knew it was going to be a very unique ride with the construction that has been ongoing over the last few months, but this is more than I ever expected it to be. So let's break down this layout. It's going to be a Premier Rides launch coaster with 9 inversions. Some of them look a little suspect, but regardless, whatever. It's still, even if it was counted as 7 inversions, it would be the most in Canada because I believe the previous record was only 5. So it is about time that Canada has a inversion-focused roller coaster and a launch coaster. This is just exactly what Canada's Wonderland needed. Their last really inversion-focused ride was 1995 with Flight Deck. So let's break down the layout. There's a lot to show. We're going to show you lots of slowed down footage and screenshots because they didn't release all much video, but it's still, they released everything you need to see. You're going to start with just kind of a little boost launch. That's just going to kind of get you to the beginning of the ride, and it's going to go over Airtime Hill and dive underneath the mountain and underneath Thunder Run into a cavernous launch, which is going to launch you all the way up to 71.5 miles per hour. And I love how the track actually changes from that white to black, so it's going to be very dark in there. You're not going to be able to see a lot, and you're going to basically be rising up 90 degrees and then twisting counterclockwise 270 degrees while doing an inversion, and then ending up into kind of a top hat type thing. So instead of actually going over the top, you're kind of go on the side, so it's kind of be a stall like Raptura has actually. And that's a funny thing to talk about right now really quickly, is that this ride is almost Volcano 2.0. They just built it in the wrong park. Nothing against Raptura. It looks like a great ride. Go check out my analysis. I think it's a worthy replacement, but definitely this is what Volcano could have been, should have been, wish it had been. This is insane what this ride is doing, and the fact that it is interacting with 3 different roller coasters, the mountain, and different pathways is just incredible planning and devotion to obviously a very, very passionate team at Canada's Wonderland. I cannot express how much I appreciate the effort that has gone into put this ride where it is. If you take a look at the Google map, that one little area there, that is where it's going to come out of the mountain. It doesn't even look like they're going to have to modify the mountain form all that much. And then it somehow is going to twist back clockwise 270 degrees. So think of it almost as Kindika's drop, but you do an inversion on the way down. That's the closest way I can describe this element top hat thing. It is just nothing like we've ever seen before. Usually when I watch a ride that's been released, like, we'll just talk about Raptura because obviously that was just the last major coaster to be announced. You watched the POV once and you knew exactly what was going on. It took me 10, 15 times to watch this thing over and over again to be like, what just happened? The first time I was just so confused. And people are going to come off this ride so confused, and they're either going to hate it or just want to jump right back again because they're going to be like, what just happened? The structure is going to be over the mountain. Hopefully the sight lines aren't ruined too much from the front gate. I think it will just be perfect. I think you won't see a lot of structure. You'll just see the train kind of cresting over the mountain. I think that's going to be a fantastic sight. And it looks like they're going to add a fire effect. So it's kind of like it's a volcano erupting and the train comes out. So that's great. Let's hope that is just not for the animation. Now, what's absolutely incredible to me is how it manages to squeeze itself between the mountain and Guardians of Wonder Mountain's lift hill. It's almost like the structure was built over 10 years ago with the idea, hey, we're going to somehow fit this roller coaster in here. We need you to have this support this way. But that's just not the case. By the way, 164 feet tall. Obviously, it's not going to really feel it too much maybe because you're on the top of the mountain. Regardless, I think that might be the height differential. But what really matters is it's dropping down 154 feet. So after that, you're going to get your one and only break. You're going to do a swooping turn to the left, then twist the other way and do a 90-degree turn. And it's going to be supported by this fun little support that uses the track later in the ride to support the track. I love it. Weird support design always makes me happy, so I love to see this. This is the point where you're going to start interacting with some more midways. Of course, we already went over the midway in the Alpen area to get to the second launch. Now we're going to be over in the Grand World Expedition area, and we are going to do our third inversion, a 0G stall, which is the first on a Premier coaster. So now we're going to go on to the Extreme Sky Coaster former plot. And this is the only place where I wish they maybe had expanded the layout a little bit more and maybe included a little bit of airtime, especially since the easiest place to build this ride seems like it is the most basic element on the ride. What kind of looks like Fury's turnaround, but instead of dropping, you're gonna twist into an inversion. So kind of like the second part of the Flying Snake dive on Storm Runner, which I'm a big fan of. So thank you. I love that. And then we're gonna do our fifth inversion and sixth inversion. So it's kind of going to be like the lagoon roll, where you rotate 270 degrees and never level out, and then rotate 270 degrees the other way. So two fast, incredible inversions. Then we're going to go into a corkscrew with a drawn out second corkscrew that dives very close to the ground, airtime hill, and then another 0G roll, and then two little pops of airtime, it looks like, into the brake run. There's a lot to unpack here. It just looks fantastic. And this ride is only 3,280 feet long with 9 inversions. That is a lot in a very short distance. Steel curtain is, first of all, closed. And second of all, it is 4,000 feet long with a very slow lift hill. It does seem like the station and the whole area hasn't really been revealed to us yet. There's no transfer track anywhere on the rendering or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see it. Like, the station's completely bare inside. So I think we have a lot more surprises to find out. I'm sure the fly might be re-themed and the whole area might get a whole boost and everything, which would be great. Kind of a German themed, Alpine themed area is great. I love that region of the world. The trains, of course, are the kind of terrible Premier trains. They really do need to upgrade it because they are very slow to load with their very tight confined spaces with the shin bar. They are just a pain in the butt to get into. There's only 2 of them with 18 passengers per train, which, if we do the math, they probably can only dispatch every 60 seconds at most. And that is going to only be a capacity of about 1,000 riders an hour at the very best. So unfortunately, capacity might be a little bit of an issue. The trains, of course, are pretty much the same design as everything that we've seen before. It kind of has a really cool open front design with its nose cone, which is kind of cool to see, very stylized, but no comfort collars. So that is absolutely fantastic. We'll probably have seatbelts, although Cedar Fair has kind of begun to move away from using seatbelts on some of their roller coasters, especially new additions. So maybe it's the possibility that we won't have that. If we don't, then it'll be a very quick load for sure, because all people have to do is pull down their lap bar. Anyways, I think I could talk about this ride for a very long time. It's just incredible. The support structure, the way it's fit into all these different rides and different areas of the park is just absolutely incredible. I never thought when I was at the park about a month ago that it was going to go places where it did. I think we were all surprised. And the fact that they were able to keep this a secret for so long is absolutely incredible. I will be there opening day or very shortly afterwards. I don't know. Definitely this is the ride. Everybody, if you don't have a passport, you need to get one now, because you need to go to Canada and you need to ride this thing, because this looks like it's going to be one of the Premier's best layouts ever built. But anyways, there will be more announcements coming up soon from the theme parks, so be sure to hit that bell for instant notifications, because we'll make videos and analyzing the layouts when they come out. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you hopefully very soon for another analysis. And by the way, props to Carowinds for announcing a clone of Snoopy's Runaway Railway. Love that attraction at Canada's Wonderland, and it should fit into Carowinds very nicely. Just wanted to fit that in there because that doesn't need its own video, but very nice to see that clone is being expanded. I'd love to see it at Dorney Park. Bye. This has been Alex.